Number two, a system of racial privileges was deliberately instituted, conscious ruling class policy. This is not simply, what's the phrase they use, institutional racism, with nobody driving the ship. This is directed by the ruling class, by the late 17th, early 18th century Anglo-American bourgeoisie, and they instituted this system in order to define and establish the white race, and in so doing, establish a system of racial oppression. And racial oppression is the subtitle. It's in the subtitle of Allen's Volume 2, which is his most important book. It is the key book in that 2-volume Invention of the White Race. Number 3, Allen argues, and this is crucial, that the consequence of this system of white privileges and setting up this system of white racial oppression was not only ruinous to the interest of the African Americans, but was also disastrous for European American workers. Disastrous for European American workers. That is qualitatively different than if you go to Wikipedia and you look up white privilege and they tell you all white people benefit from privilege. Clearly the people at the top of society benefit. It's in their interest. They're the ones who push this system. But Allen is arguing very forcefully it is disastrous for European American workers and clearly ruinous to the interest of African Americans. And he argues for the European Americans, their position vis-a-vis the rich and powerful was not improved but weakened by this system of white race privileges. So what Allen's arguing is that the white race is no part of genetic evolution. He's arguing that the white race, as I said, is a ruling class social control formation.
Could you just say that again?
It's no part of genetic evolution, right? It's a political construct. And he's saying it's a ruling class social control formation, not simply a social construct. And why this is important, and I've mentioned this, if you just say that race is a social construct, you leave the back door open for the Dinesh D'Souza's and the Daniel Patrick Moynihans and all those people who will come and argue, well, yeah, it's a social construct, but what would you expect if people have inferior culture or this or that, right? All these other rationales to explain it. It's almost, rather than putting it where it belongs, locating the driving force behind this social construct, this social control formation.